It is a Sunday, and I say good evening, good morning. Thank you so much, Okechukwu Chukuma. That is the first comment I can pick up. You say, keep it up, sir. We Biafrans hope to have our brother Mazinam Kanu released by the government on the 15th, which is 5 days. It's going to be a total lockdown. If you're in the southeast, the Biafra government in exile under the leadership of my brother, Mazi Simon Ekpa, I've said that Biafra will be under lock and key from the 15th day of December up to the 19th. Nnamdi Kanu must be released, and nobody should say otherwise. So thank you so much, my brother. Chukuma. Like I always say, the Biafra has the backup and the backing of the KOIKIMEDIA any day, anytime, and we will continue to support your quest for the self-determination, just as we will be doing as well. Ogumola Abiodun, good evening and welcome. You also say, please tell our leaders that Biafrans should not leave us behind. And you also say, I am tired of this bastard country called Nigeria. Easy. Good evening to you, Sanjo Beauty. We are just starting the program. I say shout out to my beautiful mother. I love you too much. To my beautiful wives, to my children, and every single one of you. You know how the drill is. 18th anniversary. Nigeria has been creating pain in the heart of many people. I don't know how you feel about Nigeria, but there was a young brother that died in Port Harcourt that drove and probably, over speed, had an accident. 2 hospitals rejected him. He's doing very well. He doesn't have to travel outside the country. I don't know him. I saw the news myself. 2 hospitals rejected him. What happened during the Sosoliso plane crash in 2005? This is the conversation, a very painful time for the family and the loved ones of those that died. We will be talking about it tonight and we'll be reflecting on it. I am KOIKIMEDIA, popularly called the Yoruba Nation Campaigner. As we pray for Kelechi, she survived that plane crash. She's doing very well. We hope that she would continue to do very well. But what about the mothers, the fathers, the brothers, the uncle? These people should have been alive, and I welcome the 60 Angel TV. We want you all to go and subscribe. We're going to be giving her a call in just about few minutes after we've done all our prep. The 60 Angel TV is going to be launched today, and they will be talking about the Sosoliso crash. There will be probably more people that will be talking there. It will be like a podcast. This is one of the mothers that lost a son in that plane crash. I've just spoken to her some few minutes ago. She'll be coming to speak to us. She spoke to us on the Star Radio UK Niger Voices. Tonight, I would like to appreciate every single one of you. If this is your first time of joining me, why not tell somebody else that we are live? Because it's all about what do we want out of Nigeria? Good leadership, a restructured Nigeria, a united Nigeria. How long has Nigeria been a pain to you? My mom told me Nigeria started being a pain. She left in 1990. I left after some few years. I don't know when you want to leave, but the question is, it is time that we say enough is enough. I know the last time we did a program, somebody was saying that the light, please let me know if you want me to remove that light, but it's just a Christmas light. I believe in everything. I am not against any religion, but the Yoruba culture, we will continue to say it is the only thing that the colonialism wanted to destroy. I am Olayomi Koiki. We would also be giving you, just to say thank you. I know some of you are waiting. You want to know how much we've raised for Oloye Igboho. We've done very well. Almost close to 1 million. I'm sure we can hit that 1 million precisely, and we can say thank you so much for the love. And that money will start to be disbursed to Oloye Igboho from tonight. Thank you so much for those of you that are still calling and say, Koiki, this is my little contribution. Even somebody sent 2,000 naira. That is a big donation. I am Olayomi Koiki. Today is the 10th day of December 2023. A very sad day in the history of what is called the contraction in Nigeria. And we will break it. It will be diplomatic. It will be painful. And I hope it is not going to be another second civil war. Get me newspaper. And that is a kind of a ringtone that we play. We're not able to say good evening to everyone singly because this is a very, very important program. I'm going to speak a lot of English underneath there, under the washing machine. I will be speaking a lot of English to communicate this evening because of the nature. Okay, this individual is probably not aware that I'm live. I am live. That is the reason why I'm disconnecting the call. I am actually live. Monile Soro, we are live on the program. Thank you. Because if not, they'll be disturbing and the call will keep coming because sometimes people are not aware that we are live. This is a live transmission. It's not a recorded. Please sit back, enjoy it. Get a cup of tea, a water, and like I said, I will appreciate everyone towards the end of the program. We might be probably more than 3 hours. So I don't know how far you want to sit with us, but it is very cheap for you to listen through the Mix LR. There are people there that listen to it. It saves you a bit of megabyte. For those of you abroad, just make sure you turn it off because tonight is just to reflect back on what is Nigeria and why Sosoliso plane crash must never be forgotten. It's good that we now have the social media where we can highlight this case, but there is a YouTube channel that will be dedicated for it. We will be supporting the mother because that is one mother out of so many mothers that lost children during the Sosoliso plane crash. Thank you so much to the backup team, and like I said, I will give a quick update on the donation from KOIKIMEDIA to Oloye Igboho, and then we're going to make a phone call to our mother just to give us again what we should know and how painful it is losing a loved one. Nigeria, we pray, will not happen to you. Do not joke with this kind of conversation. This is the conversation that you need. These children should have been in their 30. Probably, grandchildren would have come out thinking of having a good life. They all died in that plane crash. Maybe that should have been avoided. But in Nigeria, we link everything to God. And we are lonely. Let us not deceive ourselves. Sometimes we must hold people responsible. We will play all other ones later just to say as much of time. We have all the time. We're not in a rush, but again, because it's a very, very important day in the lives of many parents that remember their children that died during the Sosoliso plane crash. This broadcast today, just to go in record, is dedicated to every individuals that lost someone, whether those that are still alive, like our sister Kelechi. I hope I have to pronounce her name very well. Yeah, Kechi, that is still alive. She survived it. We will play a bit of her voice. But before that, this is just to say again that the Yoruba Nation campaign is a quest, and that quest will be respected by the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. There will also be the international community that will respect our right to self-determination, just like the Biafra, and whoever wants to exit what was put together by the British government in 1914. Let's first listen to this.
The Yoruba-speaking tribe of Nigeria has been accepted as the 45th member of the Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization. Leader of the Yoruba World Congress, Professor Banji Akintoye, says the membership represents a very important step in the collective quest of well-meaning Yoruba people to achieve the goal of dignity and self-determination.
It is my great pleasure and pride to inform you that the Yoruba Nation has been admitted to the membership of UNPO. UNPO means Unrepresented Nations and Peoples Organization, with its headquarters in The Hague. The UNPO expressed their gladness to welcome the Yoruba Nation as a new member of UNPO, and they're looking forward to working with us. It is important because it is a great stride, and it represents a very important step in our collective quest to achieve the goal of dignity in the country in which we live, and also to achieve the goal of self-determination for our nation. Our Yoruba nation now has a voice on the international stage via the machinery of the UNPO, which maintains a permanent presence before the United Nations and before other international agencies like the European Union, the African Union, the United States government, and the governments of various other countries across the world.
And that was Professor Adebanji Akintoye. He still remains and the only Yoruba self-determination leader. He's not the leader for Yoruba people. We have the Afenifere. We're not sure what Afenifere is doing because they're sitting on the keg of time bomb because Nigeria is moving very fast and Afenifere is not moving with time. So Afenifere is a pan-Yoruba social cultural group. They've been around for a very long time. We respect them. There's so many elderly people there. There are young people there, but they are not moving with time. And Baba Akintoye is moving with time at 88. Baba Akintoye knew that Nigeria failed, just as we're going to be talking about Sosoliso. Let me give a quick update and appreciate some of these names that I'm going to be mentioning again tonight. I would like to appreciate those of you that have contributed towards the voluntary contribution for KOIKIMEDIA to donate it to Oloye Igboho. You are not doing it for anything more than the fact that we just say thank you so much to Oloye Igboho. I would like to appreciate Mrs. Grace Olushoto, thank you so much, mother. We appreciate your grandmother. Also, Pampe. Somebody says Pampe. I don't know. Maybe you are using an app. Thank you so much. Also, Mr. Odelola. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Odelola Elizabeth. Thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Also, Stanley, Margaret Edo. Thank you so much as well. There's another name coming up with Stanley. Some of you have used an app, to send the money, and that literally means that it's not coming up with your name. Also, we'd like to appreciate again, just to go back from when we started on Friday. I guess we started on Friday. So I'm just going to do a quick recap on some of those names quickly. Mr. Yemi Fatoki, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Bob Infrastructure, Mrs. Folashade Falade, we love you. We appreciate you. Mr. Boboye Adebiyi, thank you so much. I think that's the reason why we got to be careful because of the TikTok, because it picks things separately. Also, Mr. Oluwafemi Emmanuel, thank you so much. We appreciate you, sir. Miss Oluremi Ogabi Kilanko, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Mrs. Victoria Ojo, we say thank you, mother. Mrs. Stella Oyetunji, we love you so much, so much. Thank you so much. Bishop Adeshino, I spoke to him. Bishop will be joining us on Niger Voices on Wednesday because there's now naira scarcity in Nigeria again. Why are we getting naira scarcity? Bishop Adeshino will be explaining all that. Also, we are having General, I call him General Trostina. Is one of our, what we call the Yoruba security outfit. He will be speaking to us just for a few minutes on Wednesday on Niger Voices, but we are having a full program together on Friday, God's willing, inshallah, Lashedumare, in Jesus' name. So it's going to be a very packed week as we're going into a new week again. Thank you so much, Mr. Sulaiman Adegun, Mr. Kola Ademolu, thank you so much. Easy Dollar, thank you so much, my brother. ID Novo Italy, thank you so much, Mr. Steven. Liti at Kicks, thank you so much. Monday Olabiodun, thank you so much. Again, Mr. Timothy Ogunrinde Olushola, thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Okpa Yemi, Mommy Caroline, thank you so much. Mr. Natalie Samuel, Mrs. Folashade Johnson, and Grandma, thank you so much. Dizzy Man 123, we appreciate you. Mr. Lua Femi Oloba, Mr. Ogunbadejo. If you haven't heard your name for whatever reason, don't worry. Those names is just to appreciate what they've done in the last 48 hours. Like I said, it is not going to be an open window forever because that account must continue to be operated for other reasons that I use it for. So, but if you're sending anything after tomorrow, please make sure you clarify that it's for CSI. And again, be rest assured, CSI is saying thank you so much to each and every one of you. So that is on that. Let's now come back quickly because I want to bring our mother in less than 15 minutes. But let us first listen to one of the survivors of that Sosoliso. I'm going to then give you a bit of the background. There's been a lot of people that have talked about it on the X space, which is the former Twitter. It shows that Sosoliso is a plane crash that we lost many innocent lives. Maybe we will learn that Nigeria is just a crime scene. I do not own the copyright to this video. I'm actually using it just for the purpose of today. We've actually said on KOIKIMEDIA we will start reducing using people's video. We will use our own original content video so that we do not have issues with the social media that we are using presently. But this is just because today is a special day. This program is dedicated to everyone affected. Everyone. Yoruba people died in there. Igbo people died. I believe Hausa. But one thing is, that country called Nigeria must come down so that the next generation will never hear that name Nigeria again. We are never Nigerians. That is what the British wanted to do by creating this block called Nigeria. We are Yoruba before Nigeria. Nigeria would eventually be de-amalgamated. It's just about when and how soon. Let's listen to Kechi. She survived the crash but with about 65% burnt on our body. As I said, we do not own the copyright to this video. Just waiting for the advert to go through.
I don't know, I just felt so heavy. So I made a decision while in that hospital bed that I would spend my life living as fully as possible. That was the best way for me to keep the memories of those that passed away alive. My burn scars do not define me. They are definitely a big part of me, but they're not everything. Life before the accident was a lot of fun. I grew up in Nigeria, which is my home country, and I spent my first 16 years there. When I started high school, which was a boarding school, I made a lot of friends there that have become lifelong friends. I was a really good-looking teenager, and I was aware of it, so obviously I had a lot of confidence from that. I was traveling home for the Christmas holidays with 60 other students from my high school in Abuja, Nigeria.
I was at the airport and with all the other parents. It wasn't a new thing. This is what we always did. We wait at the airport for the kids to come in.
Once the descent started, that was when everything kind of started to get crazy. It started with just a few bumps here and there and just some turbulence, but then eventually it became very extreme and people started to freak out, and that was when we realized that something was wrong. I remember there was a lot of screaming and chaos. I never got a chance to feel anything further than that shock. Before I knew it, there was this like loud metal scraping sound, and that's literally the last thing I remember before I blacked out.
All right.
About 20 minutes past.
I will just leave it like that. It's just to get the grasp of these background to Sosoliso. Maybe some of you might not know, but the parent of those that lost children at this very terrible incident would never forget. I mean, many things happen in Nigeria. We still have Nigerians in the captive of the terrorists, the Boko Haram, the ISIS. Remember the NYSC students that were traveling to Sokoto State. As I speak to you right now, they are still currently being held by these same terrorists. So a lot of things is happening. We lost, innocent Nigerians at the bomb blast by the federal government of the Nigerian military. I mean, imagine using the Nigerian money, taxpayers' money, to bomb you. Let's talk about, many crimes and so many crimes. Remember the white garment church in Ogun State where the terrorists went in there, they raped a young girl and some mothers as well. How many do we want to talk about? So sometimes we might not even know what is behind some of the news happening in Nigeria. And this is the reason why you got to sit on this kind of platform, and reasons why we are saying we need to exit. And it has to be done now before it is too late. I was actually just picking up on the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. Like I always say to you, this is an international platform. So sometimes we talk about international news so that you can get the grasp of what is going on. This was about 5 hours ago, and this is what he said. Human rights belong to everyone. So that means, human rights belongs to the Yoruba people. It belongs to the Biafran people. Just as we pray for Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu returned back to court in the next 5 days, and we hope that justice will be served after the sadist, the fake man called himself Buhari, and Yemi Osinbajo kidnapped and renditioned him back to Nigeria. So we're going to be monitoring that. But there's a statement that have come out from the Biafra government in exile under the leadership of the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa, says there will be a total lockdown. So a Yoruba man, don't travel to the southeast from the 15th. Whatever you want to do, make sure you get it done before the 14th. Respect that. It is not because of anything. It's because we don't want Hope Uzodinma and the governors in the southeast to kill you and blame it on the ESN. ESN is a security outfit that is protecting their people against the Fulani terrorists. America does not allow terrorists. They will kill them. The British does not allow that. They will kill them. Why then must terrorists go to the southeast? If the Yoruba want the terrorists to continue to infiltrate us because Igboho is speaking and none of you wants to listen to that, so be it. But from the 15th up to the 19th, the southeast will be completely locked down until we get to give you update again. So a lot of things happen, but let me talk about Anthony Blinken says human right belongs to everyone. They are the universal, indivisible, irrelated. Today, as we recognize the 75th years of Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the United States reaffirms our deep commitment to protect human rights, hold human rights abusers accountable. So when we Yoruba eventually start our campaign, should the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu do otherwise, it will be also be put in the same bracket like President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, the saddest guy. Okay, dead or alive. I don't know whether Buhari is real or is fake. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, he's dead or is alive. So the Yorubas are going to start coming out. I don't know when. We hope very soon. And our rights will be respected under the international law. And I hope one day justice will be served for those that died at the Sosoliso plane crash. This broadcast is dedicated to them, so I will continue to mention them. But like I said, in 10 minutes, which is going to be 10 p.m. local time in London, or we can say 2200 hours. You are 2300 hours, just about 10 minutes before that. Nigeria is 1 hour ahead of us. My name again is Olayomi Koiki. So when we talk about human rights, Nigeria do not have or uphold any kind of human right. It's a lawless country, and that is why we are hoping that this coming 5 days from today, Nnamdi Kanu will be regaining his freedom, just as the ECOWAS have said that Benin Republic has literally done what should not have been done against Igboho under international law. African countries are so lawless, the Yoruba will pull out, the Biafra will pull out, the Middle Belt will pull out. If the Hausa wants to keep Nigeria name, they have all the right to keep it. Our right will be respected, and that right is what we are saying. Is many of you are asking for justice for so many people that have died lately. Have you ever talked about justice for Sosoliso? Or you probably don't even know who they are. So we call them the 60 angels. But like I said, I'm going to give you some background to what actually happened and what we know. There's been a lot of conversation on it, different images, different pictures, but something happened 18 years ago, and a mother that had a son in that aircraft will be speaking to me in the next 10 minutes. We spoke to her on Wednesday. I just want to take us back to 18 years remembrance of the Sosoliso plane crash. There's been another plane crash 3 months before the Sosoliso plane crash. We had another plane crash, which was, I think, the Bayview airline. The question is, what happened to that part of the world that do not respect humanity? Again, many people have talked about it. I remember some of the stories coming up that the former president then, Olusegun Obasanjo, literally grounded all the planes of Sosoliso. And I believe the man that owns it also died during the COVID, from what I'm hearing from my bit of research. Let's now also remember that, this, our sister, Kechi, that we talked about, some of you have seen her images. I don't want to continue blasting that image. Her face is all over the social media today. And I hope that we will also continue to pray for her, because it has not been easy journey. She was born 65%. The mother that is going to speak to us, her son would have survived as well. The son got to the hospital, a lot of hours to drive them there with a bad road after the plane crash at Port Harcourt. The plane was traveling from Abuja straight into Port Harcourt. It was not meant to be less than 45 minutes journey, but eventually, as we say, may Nigeria not happen to me and you. So the question then we should also be saying is, how many more lives must die before some of you wake up and realize that this country you love so much does not have any respect for you, and one day you will be caught up and you might also die. Also, I picked up from my beautiful sister. You can disagree with her, I don't care. She's one of the most talented journalists. She could be controversial. I speak to her all the time. I love her. She's a mentor. She's well read, not as just year one. I'm talking about the only one known as Dr. Olukemi Olunloyo. She said, and I quote, hashtag media came 30, 11 years into my journalism career and 18 years ago today, December 10, 2005, I remembering all the students and children we lost from Loyola Jesuit College on Sosoliso airline flight 1145 that was scheduled flight between the Nigerian city of Abuja to Port Harcourt at about 14:08, which is the local time. We will probably say 8 minutes past 2 p.m. In UK, we use the 24 hours clock. On the 10th of December 2005. According to the mother I spoke to on Wednesday, she's going to be speaking to us in the next 5 minutes. She told me that the flight plan, the timing, this is part of the problem in Nigeria, where you get to the airport, it does not tell you that you will travel at that particular time, but even though your ticket says you leave at 10 o'clock, it's just a complete lawless, messed up country that we must pull down, and we're going to pull it down together. Your election will not give you the result. Obedient will not give you the result. Peter Obi will not give you the result. Tinubu will not give you the result. Atiku will not give you the result. So let's go back again to Dr. Kemi Olunloyo, as I love her to call her doctor. And please respect her. She might be controversial, but we can never all be the same. And she's doing very well. So this flight that was not meant to have traveled at 14:08, the politician took the slot of the children, and I'll probably just say they probably use these children for ritual, as far as I can say, because these politicians also have all kind of voodoo that they do. So they know that they'll probably allow Nigerians to die easily. I mean, we can blame it on error, but if these children have traveled with their actual flight plan, maybe this politician would have been the one that would have died. And if they die, who cares? Because at the end of the day, they are all the most corrupt individuals that have done damage to the country called Nigeria. But the children changed the slot, not because they wanted to. The politician, according to the mother, this is an eyewitness, the mother that lost her son, this is her first son, said to me on Wednesday that the flight chart or the timing, I mean, imagine getting to Heathrow Airport, local flight to Scotland, 9 o'clock is 9 o'clock. Apart from it, there's a weather problem, there's emergency. But in Nigeria, you sit at the airport and politician walks in and they overtake your own slot. This is what happened. I'm sure some of you have experienced that as well. So what happened again? At about 8 minutes past 2 p.m. local time, on the 10th day of December 2005, 18 years ago today precisely, we lost so many lives. The flight, which is called 1145, from Abuja, crash landed on the runway at Port Harcourt International Airport. The plane, a McDonnell Douglas DC-932, was full with 110 people on board. Only 2 survived. So many people have been asking what happened to the second person. From what I've been reading online, we are told that she's got married and probably she just want a quiet life. Again, the plane was full with 110 innocent lives. It burst into flames on approach due to pilot error. Did you hear that? It is only in Nigeria that you are driving and the driver is drunk and you are praying to Jesus and you are calling Anabi Muhammad, you are calling your spiritual whatever. It is only in Nigeria that we blame evil for something that should have been avoided. And when people done so much evil, they then call it issue. Do not ever call it issue. Issue is for the Yoruba people. We love it. We appreciate it the way it is. Make sure you do not use the word Isheshuni. This is what the Nollywood has done. They've categorized issue, which is meant to be our own deity, traditional Yoruba god, and convert it to something that is evil when you are doing the evil. Why not say it is because of Jesus you are doing that? Why not say it's because of Muhammad? Why use the word issue? That is part of the colonialization or colonialism that the British did on our life. You're watching a live transmission, and like I said, I'll be calling that call in just a few minutes. I just want to give you a background to the, what happened before we put the call through. This was due to pilot error initially. Then, after investigation, discovered that the engine power failed and the pilot were caught by surprise. I mean, engine power failed. That means many of you that have traveled from Lagos to Ibadan, most of those vehicles are not suitable for the road journey, but you just say, Ọlọ́run ti fún wa, Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà wa nínú ilé yìí, nínú mọ́tò yìí, agúnlẹ̀ láyọ̀. I mean, I've been in those kind of vehicles as well, from Iyanapaja, from Oshodi, from Mushin, and eventually when accident happened, nobody even do investigation to what happened, what led to that accident. We just say it was what was meant to happen. It could have been something that should have been avoided. Many of you are living on a keg of time bomb in Nigeria. I pray Nigeria do not happen to you. And as we continue to pray for the 60 souls, 60 angels, they will never, never be forgotten. And this is why we are doing this today. Like I said, this is all I can do for them so that we can continue to highlight it. If you share the program, you are also helping the 60 angels that died during the Sosoliso plane crash. Good evening once again to each and every one of you. Again, after investigation, discovered that the engine power failed, but the pilots were just caught surprise. RIP to Captain Benjamin Adekunle Adebayo, a Nigerian, and a first officer, Gerard Yakubu Andan, a Ghanaian, and their 7-member flight crew. The Ilabos, who lost 3 kids, started Ilabo Angel Foundation to assist orphans and aid victims in memory of their children. And one very notable Nigerian religious figure on the dome flight was Pastor Bimbo Odukoya. I'm sure some of you that attend that church, or maybe some of you that know her, will remember who was that particular Pastor Bimbo Odukoya. She died in that flight as well. Many of the children were all going home for Christmas. It's a countdown to Christmas. It's 15 days. You don't have to celebrate it, but those that are celebrating, you have no right to say, kill and celebrate Christmas from. It is not your problem. Believe in what you believe. Leave those that are celebrating Christmas. I celebrate every goddamn thing. I care less. I am 40 plus. Nobody today would deceive me to say, this one is good, this one is not good. As far as I'm concerned, one in Dubai Balaye, don't show do. And shout out to all our Christian brothers and sisters. And Merry Christmas in advance. I'm waiting for my Christmas gift. Make sure I don't forget. If you want to post something, let me know. I'll give you the address. Once again, many of the students were all just going on for Christmas. Friends and classmates of Kechi, Okechuchi, Okoechi. I hope I pronounced the name very well. Please bear with me if I haven't. I'll try again. Okewuchi. Okewuchi. If you're Igbo or Biafra, is that the pronunciation? Is that very good? Please let me know. One of the 2 survivors, there was also Bumi Amushon, or now Bumi Odukoya assistant. Okay, she was an assistant to the pastor that died. This is the one that nobody knows where she is, but I've been told that she has married and she has moved on with her life quietly. She doesn't want to be in the public domain, and we have to respect that. Also, of the Sosoliso airplane crash in 2005, they've organized a dinner July 2011 to raise funds for the surgery. Kechi Adeobi, who was the only survivor of the 2005 Sosoliso plane crash. We played that video earlier on. I can't play more than that. In that plane crash, which killed 109 people. No one would have thought that she would survive the crash that left several bodies strewn all over the runway at Port Harcourt International Airport. Parents were waiting for their children at the airport while the blast was already going on. No fire engine, nothing works in Nigeria, and after 18 years, come and tell me that Nigeria is still working, and let me hear that from you. So, again, but she did. She survived, 65% burn on her body, spent 5 weeks in coma at the Mill Park Hospital in South Africa. So far, she has undergone 75 surgical operations, ranging from skin graft to reconstructive surgery. In the last 18 years, she was at the Shinas Hospital for Burns in Texas, United States of America, undergoing more surgeries. Even after 6 years after the accident, Kechi has become a public figure, speaking about her experience, her life with her burn scar, even became a singer, encouraging others that life doesn't end there. This case changed many evasion laws and policy in Nigeria. It is still the same. May all the dead all rest in peace. And I've given you the background to the Sosoliso, especially for the young ones that do not know what led to the Sosoliso. So now let's see if all goes as planned. The website, the YouTube as well, is called the 60 Angels TV. I'll be sharing the link with us, which the mother that lost her son already shared with me. So that link is going to be coming up in just a few minutes. Let me open it. So today she decided to launch
the exact I plus review. What to know before you buy a supplement.
So again, that is the, in case you're looking for that page, she'll be doing videos around it. She'll be talking about things that happen on that day. You know, it's called the 60 Angel TV. So we expect as many of you to go and follow that page. We only have just one subscriber. I hope all my own fans will subscribe. I will be sharing the link when she gets into the program. Then I will have time to be doing that behind the scene. Once again, let's put a call to her. She's on standby, and let's hear from a mother that lost a son. A very good evening and welcome to the special edition of the Sosoliso. If you knew the background of the one that you're listening to in the house, it will be much better for me.
Thank you.
Just like Wednesday, I know it's going to be emotion, but we want to get as much. We have all the time, you know, even though we have all the time as well on Wednesday. And when we think that maybe it's too emotional, we'll probably let you go. We might bring you back again. Let's say good evening and welcome once again to this special edition of the 18th anniversary of the Sosoliso plane crash.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me.
Let's start from the 10th day of December. What was the day like to start with 18 years ago?
In the morning of that day, 10th of December 2005, as usual, we all prepared to go and wait for the arrival of our children at the airport. Only for us to get there, they told us that the children will not be coming as scheduled. The plane that was meant to bring them in about 12, they're supposed to arrive about 12 or so. The politicians hijacked it and the children had to wait for the other one coming. So that was how we started waiting. We were waiting. But something now happened. We just saw commotion all over. We were seeing people moving in and out of the airport. No one even addressed us that something had happened. We were all confused. What are we going to do? I said it the last time. A parent just went in to check what was actually happening. Since we didn't see anyone at the counter to tell us anything about the incident, he came back and told us that this happened to our children. That was how we all started moving from one area to the other. Eventually, we learned that they've moved them to the hospital. So we had to move to the hospital. The nearest hospital is about 1.5 hours to the place. There was no emergency center at the airport, nowhere to attend to them for first aid. So we traced the hospital. We went there. We saw my son. He has passed. We saw so many of them. They have passed. Why? They said there was no oxygen to revive them. That they only had one bottle of oxygen in the whole hospital, and they were using it for one big man. So that was what happened that day.
Well, once again, you're hearing from a mother. This was her first son that died during the Sosoliso plane crash. And we are saying, may the gods of the Yoruba land, may Jesus Christ, may Anabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whatever we all believe, continue to protect and be with the parents that are still alive, because some of them, I guess, have also died. Let's first talk about, why was your son schooling in Abuja, and where were you in Port Harcourt? I know it's not the kind of question. I mean, I schooled in Abeokuta. I could have schooled in Lagos, but I knew the reason why my mom decided to move me to Abeokuta Grammar School instead of in Lagos. Why was that distance, between the children and yours that eventually got affected at this particular plane crash?
It was my husband that went to Port Harcourt to seek for greener pasture, because he looked for work in Lagos. He couldn't get any at that time. And I was working with a federal government institution that I can move my work to any part of the country. So when he left, I was even in school when he left. So he had to move with the kids so that he could help me take care of them. So that was how we found ourselves in Port Harcourt. And he was doing so well at school that time. He was very brilliant, as I told you before. So he had a friend called Chris Olakwe. They were together. So it was Chris Olakwe's mom that went to Abuja to visit the husband and said he wanted these kids to go to the best school in Nigeria. That was how she put it to me. I said, am I sure I can afford that? So when on our journey to Abuja, he found out about Loyola Jose College. He said we should try it for them. And we did. Both of them passed. We couldn't discourage him. Though the father was somehow skeptical, he said he doesn't want him to go far. But since that was what he wanted, we had to support him. And because we knew that one of the best schools in Nigeria, because of his value. So that was how we found ourselves in Port Harcourt. He found himself in Abuja.
Once again, thanks so much for giving us a bit of the background. Was this the first time, the first year of your son? Is it the first time they're traveling from Abuja to Port Harcourt? Why not travel by the road? Why by plane? Is it because you can afford it, or is there some other reasons that you wouldn't have allowed your son to travel by road? Because we're talking about 2005. I'm not sure what Nigeria was. I've been away from Nigeria since 98. You're on the ground. You live in Nigeria with your family. I know you're not present in Nigeria. Please do not tell us where you are presently for just not knowing. We don't want to know. The question is, was your son attending the first time? Is he in GSS 1? Has he been going and coming back? What year was your son in 2005? Because I guess that was a secondary school. Was he in GSS 1, GSS 2?
He actually started with them since 2003.
So he's been in that school for 2 years?
Yes, 1. Yes, for 3 years.
Oh, he's been there for 3 years?
For 3 years.
Wow.
Yes. He was about to write his junior YF.
Okay, so in 3 years, has it been the normal routine? They all travel back to Port Harcourt?
That's all. Exactly. They've been going with the Sosoliso coming back, going and coming back. And that was it.
Okay, is that a special arrangement between this airline and the school? Why not a different airline? Why Sosoliso? Because from what you're saying now, it seems that they travel through Sosoliso every time they're returning back. Is it like a package? Because I know there's so many packages, the school bus, there might be a school plane as well.
The arrangement was between the Sosoliso and the parents, because we do our things together. We see ourselves as family. So whatever we want to do, we do it together. That was the reason. The only thing the school is doing for us is to move them from school to the airport. Or when they arrive at the airport, they move them from the airport to school. That's how they have been helping us out.
Okay. What we're trying to get the background is just so that we can have a bit of understanding. 60 of these children were traveling from Abuja. Are we saying that the whole 60 of them also live in Port Harcourt, but they're schooling in Abuja, or it's just a coincidence?
Only few of them are not staying in Port Harcourt, but about 45 or thereabouts, they are staying in Port Harcourt. Some of them, when they get to Port Harcourt, they still travel to Akwa Ibom, they still travel to neighboring states.
Okay.
But Port Harcourt is the major, yes.
Is the major airport. So every now and then, you know, this is not going to be, let's take it in 2004. It would have just been a normal flight journey. The school time is ending, the parents are paid, the school dropped them at the airport, Sosoliso picked them up, dropped them to Port Harcourt within 1 hour maximum, depending on if there is delay at the airport, and the parents, prior before the 2005, let's talk about the 2004 similar incident. You would have gone to the airport, and what would have been the procedure to receive your own son, just like the other parents as well?
You pick them by car from the airport. Oh, you mean from Abuja or from here?
No, from Port Harcourt now.
Yes, when we receive them, we all move them home differently. We all come with our cars and move them out to our various homes.
Okay, so they would have, the plane would have landed, and the children would have been escorted out of the plane, and the parent would have been welcoming them from the the arrival, and every parent would just depart.
That's the normal.
So is it the same process that will return the children back again to Abuja, with another Sosoliso airline, or is it a different airline that takes them back after the holiday is over?
It's Sosoliso that will take them back.
Okay. All right. So now, on the 10th of December, which is the day that we are remembering these 60 plus, including other, passengers on this very tragic plane crash in Nigeria. Before the accident, have you ever heard about plane crash in Nigeria? Because there was a particular plane crash before your own son plane crash. The Bellevue, 3 months before that in October. Did you hear about that?
Yes, I did. We were in a car that day that we even heard about this. I was praying. I said, Lord, protect us. So this is our moving plane. We are not sure which is which. I was just praying in the car. I heard it.
So you knew about one aircraft that also had an accident, and just like an average person would just say, but you knew that your own son at some point would also be traveling with a plane, because that would have been 3 months after that this accident of Sosoliso happened.
Was praying. Yes.
So you were actually praying as a mother, hearing this plane crash, that please,
say,
Lord, please don't allow
our people flying.
Okay. Have you yourself traveled, before you left Nigeria now, like I said, please do not tell us your location presently. Have you traveled by the plane yourself, prior before, this plane crash in 2005?
Yes. I've been going to see him at school. Well, because we have open day that we all parents will visit. At least once in a month, we go there to visit him.
And you go by
times I go by road, at times I go by flight. Yes.
Okay. Let's talk about the road, because it seems that many Nigerians, probably thought the roads are bad. Maybe, we're talking about 2005. It has even get worse to today, because many Nigerians have been kidnapped. I can talk about many. Even the train we saw, Dr. Chinelo was attacked, by the Boko Haram Fulani terrorists that eventually killed many lives as well. So we can go on and on. you choose the option of plane, flying by air, as against by road. What was the reason behind that? Because I know flying by plane would have been very expensive than going by road.
Yes. But why I decided to be going by air, or the children should be going, because our roads are not safe. Apart from armed robbers on the roads are terrible. Personally, the last time I went to Abuja, instead of me getting to Abuja in a day, I got to Abuja the following day on the road. So it's so risky. At a point, I was asking the driver, I said, are you sure we are still going to Abuja? Because I can't understand why we left the road and we started following the bush. There was no road again in Nigeria. No road.
It's been 18 years that now we're going to talk about, I know this is going to be very, very touching, you know. This is your first son, if I'm right.
Yes.
It would have been how old today? Roughly 31 or 30 plus?
It's going to be 32 by June next year. But yes, 31 plus.
What have you really missed about him after 18 years? Each time you look back, you know, I know you're not the only parent. I know there's so many other parents, but it's just, you know, we're just lucky to get hold of you, and it's because of, you know, the Yoruba Nation campaign that we started that you reach out to us. You are a proud Yoruba woman yourself, but because of the purpose of today, we decided to speak in English because we want this to be documented as well. What have you really missed about your son, you know, after 18 years?
My son was a legend in that anywhere he goes, he made me proud. In his primary school days, when he was about graduating at the primary school, usually they give them awards. Out of 15 awards, he collected 11 awards. Out of 15 awards, he only single-handedly collected 11 of the awards.
So this was a genius we are talking here now.
I'm telling you.
I'm so sorry. If you want to take
all other parents, they have to move to me. They said, what are you doing for him? Anywhere he goes, they call me out. Even while he was in school, the teacher will always call me to apologize to him in my presence. I said, why are you doing this? He said, no, there was an incident that happened in his class when he was in primary 6. There was a change of one senator in America. So the teacher was teaching them that so person was the senator. My son said, no, they are changing. He said, no, don't tell me that. The following day, the teacher had to call me. I know because it was a gentle and brilliant boy. If they call me like that, my mind does not shake. When I got there, he said, please, madam, help me to apologize. And he said it. He said, I'm apologizing in the presence of everyone in the class that Victor was right yesterday. I was the one that was wrong. He said, madam, where did you find this kind of human being? My son will read a book like this, even if it's 1,000 pages. Open anywhere in the book and ask him a question. He will answer you. I've never seen that kind of human being in my life. He was reading so much that we have to go and register him all over Port Harcourt Library. Because usually when he's coming home, I'll be running around to go and buy literature books for him to keep him busy. Before 2 weeks, he will say, Mommy, I'm done with the books. I say, be reading them gradually. He wouldn't listen. He will be reading as if he has come to this world to read. He will borrow books from adults. Even in my office, they all know him. They say, Madam, this is an exceptional child you have. And I knew it myself. So what will I now remember about him? They just made me to, I don't know. I'm trying to cope anyway. I'm trying to cope because my brother, it's not easy.
It's been 18 years of this plane crash, let's talk about what has been the outcome for parents. Do you still have this relationship before the relationship that you all had that allowed this family of 60 children coming together, picking those children, taking them through the airline, picking them? This has been a very good cordial relationship for the first 3 years. What has been the relationship after the plane crash with the other parents?
You know, before the plane crash, we all are like family. We meet together. Regularly, we meet. We even celebrate together. We throw parties together so that we can recognize ourselves and the new members joining us. But after the crash, I must tell you, we all scattered. Up to now, we are not together again. So I don't know what is happening. Maybe some of them are still together. Since we left Port Harcourt in a hurry, we couldn't look back to see what was happening.
The brother just said it would have been great, but that system actually wasted a very genius individual. Bear with us with the background noise there. It's gonna go very, very soon. Again, if you've just joined us, this is the system that some of you still want us to hold on to. We're talking about the corrupt, the inept, a system that failed not just this, our mother. Maybe you might ask yourself, where did Nigeria failed me as a person? There was a government in place, which was the former President Olusegun Obasanjo in 2005. How did this government respond to the crash and to the family of those affected?
I'm not sure of anything from government. Though the state government, they tried their best, they supported us that time. And the school too, the school came around, visited each parent. It was so serious for them, but they still did it from Abuja to Port Harcourt to visit all the parents. So, but federal government, as usual, that's their way. If anything happens, they just provided if you are, it's only when you are among them that they recognize you or they assist you. But if you are not part of them, forget about it.
This December 2005, which we are discussing today, if you've just joined us, you're listening to a mother, one of the mothers whose son was lost in the plane crash of the Sosoliso in 2005. We pray for all those that died, especially the 60 innocent children, plus the others and the pilot. Obasanjo, the last time you spoke to me on Wednesday on the Star Radio UK, you said Obasanjo visited the school. Are you saying that you never met with the president of Nigeria with this kind of fatal accident?
Obasanjo visited the school. No.
Let me repeat that again. Are you saying that you, the mother of one of the victims of this plane crash, never met with the president, then former Olusegun Obasanjo?
No. I've never.
How do you
Never
feel
seen it.
now that you've traveled out of the country? You've seen how leaders around the world respond to accident. It does happen. And if you play back to 2005, knowing that we have a sitting president and he had never met, or maybe should I also say, did Atiku, as at the time, met with you? Because I believe Atiku was the vice president.
No, I didn't know Atiku. I've never seen him before.
if you want to take a short break, let me know. I know it's a very
No,
the
no,
reason why
I'm
we are
okay.
putting this out today, because this is a an interview that many people will listen to years to come. We pray for long life for you. I know there's been other children. We don't need to know about those. We're talking about the particular one that died because of the negligence of a country called Nigeria. Again, let me repeat that. Did you ever, during or after the accident, or I mean just after the accident on the 10th of December 2005, met with the president or the vice president, Obasanjo and Atiku?
I've never met any of them.
What was the reason that was given to you as a parent, probably after the inquiry that led to the crash? What did you hear that led to the crash? I mean, I know after your son died, probably maybe after the burial. We're still going to talk about the hospital because you said you saw your son. I want to know whether it was burnt, whether it was still, But we'll come back to that in just about a few minutes. What I want to find out is, what were you told as a parent of this crash of Sosoliso in 2005, which today is what we are remembering them for, 18 years after a painful crash? What were you told? What was the reason given that the plane crashed?
I want you to realize one thing. I want everyone to realize one thing, that Nigeria has never been a country, because their things are not organized. They don't do things normally. They do things the way it pleases them. Up to now, maybe they told them in Port Harcourt, but as I am now, the only time I knew about it was when I said, let me just say something about this plane crash. I went online. They said it was pilot's fault. That was all I knew.
So, did the state government set up an inquiry, and did you get any copy of such or any correspondence to indicate that?
We took Sosoliso to court. That was all I know.
Okay.
But I'm not sure whether state government had anything to do with that.
Okay.
But the parents took Sosoliso to court.
And did you ever
at
justice?
the time we left, the case was still in court.
And are you still in touch?
Our court judicial system in Nigeria. I don't know whether they are still there, because I don't attend the court session, so I'm not sure. I'm not even interested, because the damage has been done. What else can they do for me? Will they bring back my son?
Well, I understand, but again, when Nigerians say we want justice, we've seen, and I'm not going to come with any name tonight. I mean, many people talk about we want justice. We've seen so many cases, and so you just literally said you give up, because at the end of the day, the damage has been done. But in a civilized society like where we are, I mean, in the last couple of days, last week, I'm sure you watched as our former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was grilled, for the death of many lives during the COVID. The first 10 doctors that died were, BME, black ethnic minority. It would not have been just for you to say, I mean, I've lost, the damage has been done, but it would have been good to know the background to what literally led to the death of your son, and maybe somebody should be penalized. Maybe the aviation ministers at the time, I don't know whether the aviation minister resigned. If anybody can do a quick check for us, in 2005, who was the aviation minister as at the time?
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead.
He's dead.
Okay, so the former aviation minister, Aborishade, died as well. But as at that time, was anybody, I know it would have been commotion with the family, with the husband, and I hope nobody was blaming each other for sending that lovely son of yours, so intelligent, to Abuja, because I know how the family will turn apart quickly, because somebody will be blamed for pushing a family out. I hope nothing of such happened in your case. But the question is, was there anybody held responsible for that crime against humanity?
I'm not sure of any. I'm not sure of any for now. They were all blaming the pilot. So
Okay, so it seems
where
that
they will
the
point it
federal
to.
government was trying to avoid the blame, just as
Yes.
to date they're
Yeah,
still
exactly.
trying to avoid blame for the crime against many innocent indigenous people. Let's come again back to your son. You saw him at the hospital, if I'm right.
Yes.
What was the
We
body like?
visited the hospital and we met him there. We were not even sure whether he was among the people. But when we got there, we went around and we saw him.
So you were able to
Yeah.
identify your son.
Yes.
So
Yes.
if I'm
Because
quite
he
right,
wasn't burnt.
okay, that's what I was going to ask. So your son wasn't as burnt as probably maybe others. We don't know where he was sitting or where he sat.
There was no single burn on him. It was suffocation that must have killed him.
And the reason you gave was the hospital that your son,
There was no oxygen.
there was no oxygen. So even if there was probably oxygen at the airport, which should have been the normal norm, because I remember you told me that.
Most of them will have survived it.
So are we saying that a state like Port Harcourt, and if I'm right, Port Harcourt is a very rich state.
International airport.
Because Port Harcourt is a very rich
They
state.
call it international airport. It was at a sorry stage. I didn't even know how terrible it was. But that day I witnessed terrible things around there.
When you got to that hospital, was it the same day, the 10th of December? Was it the second day?
The same day we are. When we are supposed to pick our son, we can't go home.
Okay,
we have to go to hospital.
Okay.
That they said they put him.
So you arrive at that hospital,
yes.
Somebody.
It was the same hospital they took Bimbo to.
Okay, so
same hospital.
So you saw. We're not going to talk about that because that is not the conversation. We want to stick to your son. When you got into that hospital, what was you thinking? Do you think that maybe by chance, by God's grace, you will meet your son alive? While you were traveling towards the hospital, because I can say as a parent, as a mother, a lot of things will be ringing through your head. I just hope that he didn't die. I just hope he's alive. I just hope that the hospital is also okay, because when you got to that hospital, what was it like?
Before we left the airport, I heard him calling me, "Mommy, Mommy." I heard his voice clearly. So I now told the father, I said, they said they moved them to hospitals. Let's start checking hospitals and see where they took him to. So luckily for us, the first hospital we go to, we checked in and we saw him. He has already passed. Why became so much of pain to me was that in my office, we use almost 8 hospitals in Port Harcourt. If they had told us earlier that they have no emergency preparedness kit on ground at the airport, most parents will have moved their children. Personally, we have good hospitals that my office is using. I will have moved him to one of them. He will have survived. But they kept it away from everyone. They were just moving, doing their thing on their own. They left the parents moving from one point to the other.
But that is meant to be the responsibility of the government. The state government, the federal, the aviation, industry, the aviation sector, to make sure that the preparedness of such an accident, they can literally, take it. The ambulances would have arrived at the airport, but it seems that nothing of such happened. After the first day of the accident, you knew that this young, brilliant genius that brings joy to you, you saw the body dead. What went straight to you on that day? How did you feel? What was your reaction?
I was not here. In fact, I was out of my life. My body went off. My mind went another way, because I don't even know what I should be thinking about that moment. I was just saying, so all my efforts on this boy Since the day he was given birth to till now, just went like that. And not just ordinary human being that left me, a genius for that matter, because we all knew it. We all knew it. So I was everyone. We were shattered. Let me just use it that way. We were all shattered. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know where to go. We were just confused. Finally, when we found out that he has passed, there's nothing we can do.
Once again, we continue to pray for you, and we're still with you, and we hope that many of you that are joining us will pray for this, our mother, and so many of the mothers that are still alive, and the fathers. We're talking about Sosoliso plane crash that took place 18 years ago. Let's come back again to this very sad, dark day in the history of Nigeria, which, if we bring it forward, I won't say yours is not still an history. It is an history, but so many things have also occurred and it's still happening. After the 10th day of December, how long do you then decide that maybe you should move out of that region? Because it seems that from what I heard, you left Port Harcourt because maybe to get away the memories of what has happened and start all over again. How long did you spend again in Port Harcourt after the accident?
About 2 months.
Wow.
But we went, after 2 weeks, we went for his burial in Lagos. We buried him in Lagos. So it was another experience altogether on the way to Lagos, we think.
If you want to share that with us, if it's something that will, because the more you take out of the heart, the better. I know a lot will be documented. This is the reason why you all have to go and follow that page, because she will be speaking maybe 5-10 minutes. I don't know. She's going to be designing that herself. This website, the YouTube channel that we've just given you, you all need to go and subscribe so that you can monitor and follow this, our mother, to tell you more about what led to Sosoliso. Our son was there, and we continue to pray for her. The channel, again, is called the 60 Angel. We've posted it. We'll be posting it continuously. Let me give you some of what people are saying online. I know I spoke to you earlier, prior before coming onto the program. There's been a lot of people talking about these. I'm trying to see what has much more. Okay, let's see what Nigerians are saying. Someone said we had a person who gave the order also play a major role in the case of Nigerian Airways. Okay, not that. We don't want to talk about that. Let's see what Nigerians are saying on this particular plane crash today. Let's talk about this. Let's see. It is really an emotional tribute. May the Lord keep you and continue to give the family of the victims fortitude to bear the loss. I mean, it is also a privilege to reflect a lot of things. So emotional now. Many Nigerians continue to also talk about this. 18 years down the line, what do you think about Nigeria?
We're still talking about Nigeria here. There is no more Nigeria. I've been saying it. It's not as if I'm not hiding to say it because of what I've experienced and what is still going on right now, most especially the killing of our people on a daily basis. We did not realize it on time, but now that we have realized it, we should stop it and we should move on with our own state or our own nation. Because this their plan has been in the pipeline. It's just we Yorubas that did not take note of it. Because if you want to kill someone emotionally, financially, physically, morally, just make him hungry. All his moral decadence will come to bear. It is happening now to our people. In that country, that's the only country whereby when you are going through pain, you are not meant to say it out. You have to go through the pain, and even if you like die into the pain, nobody is saying you. We should stop that system. It's a terrible system. People are dying of hunger every day. Our politicians, they are enriching themselves. Is it for them they come to the position or for the citizens? We should know what they are aimed for. If they are aimed for the citizens, they should make the citizens' life better. We are not saying they should be equal, but at least for a citizen to be able to afford 3 square meals, it's not a luxury. It is not a luxury. For you to be able to feed your family, see what is going on, ritual all over the place. Everyone is just wishing to make money at all costs. Let's forget about our religious leaders. They are the foundation of all these crises we are having because they refuse to say the truth. In a nation whereby there is no one to challenge the sitting government, they will be doing what they like. They will be doing whatever they like. So the earlier, the better. We cannot keep on deceiving ourselves and our people. Because if we fail this time, the next generation will have to curse us. Or they will even kill us if they meet us alive. That's why are we waiting to this time before we say no to hardship? When we know our worth, we should not be intimidated. Let everyone get ready because we have to say stop. We have to say no to this inhumous regime that is making people to suffer, to kill people unnecessarily, to make people be thinking opposite way instead of forward. They are moving backward. Who on this earth again in this 21st century using human parts to make money? And we still believe in that. We should wake up. We should wake up.
I'm just picking a couple of things that people are saying. Again, if you've just joined us, you're hearing the voice of one of the parents that lost her first son at the Sosoliso plane crash 18 years ago today, the 10th of December 2023. The plane crash was in 2005. The former president Obasanjo, I'm not too sure what happened, did not even meet with the parents for whatever reason. I'm picking up what Nigerians are saying today on this plane crash, and I'm going to pick one or two that I've picked so far. Folu Oladipo at Folu Oladipo 12 hours ago. Let us start on the positive. I don't know what it means by that. The Sosoliso crash directly led to the improvement in the firefighting standard across Nigerian airports after the investigation revealed many passengers would have survived if Port Harcourt had adequate emergency response, which is exactly what you said in your beginning of your speaking to us. You told us that if the Port Harcourt airport had what is needed, your son and probably many would have survived.
Yes.
Okay. According to Sky_Sheyi Jota, my school was quiet that day when they announced it in the morning mass at the church because we had people that lost sibling. We also lost a classmate that changed school. May their soul continue to rest. Also, I picked up Kidabo says Obasanjo is a disaster man. Every bad, evil things happened during his time as PDP president, apart from the air crashes, Sharia war in 2000 and 2002, Boko Haram in 2006, 2007. I'll pick one more, then I'll come back again to you, my beautiful mother. Paul Ayebunwa says at Paul K556, as we remember the souls of the faithful departed, what lessons have we learned as a nation? If an emergency were to happen today, how many firefighter trucks will be available from Port Harcourt Airport with a question mark? What is the state of our airport? Question mark. What improvement have been made? Let me come to you again. You went from Port Harcourt back, I guess, to Lagos State before you traveled. We don't need to know the details of how you left Nigeria and where you are presently. But my question is, reflecting back to 2005, it's been 18 years. You probably still read a bit of news about Nigeria. You've been following the Yoruba nation, that you are a staunch supporter as a Yoruba woman that wants to also have, the Yoruba nation. Each time you look back to some of the things that still happen, let's talk about like the NSAS, where we saw the government killed innocent Nigerians, even though they're denying it. But we realized that they wanted to pay money, to bury certain amount of people in Lagos State. 18 years after, do you think that Nigeria has learned any lesson in whatever sector that you want to talk about? It could not just be aviation, it could be anything. Do you think that we've learned lessons as a country?
No, I've not seen any changes at all. Most especially, I will talk about aviation, because after that I went to Abuja with a plane. Now the risk they are passing through in that country, the risk they are passing through in that country, will they keep on begging God? What will God do? What is it that God's supposed to do that He has not done? We are the ones to ask ourselves, the resources Almighty gave us, what are we doing with it? There is no citizen that is benefiting from the treasure Almighty Father kept for us, only the politicians. And they are doing it, and they are showing it to our face that there is nothing we can do, whatever they like. Because if you don't belong to them in Nigeria, you cannot enjoy Nigeria. It's only when you are a crooked person that you can enjoy Nigeria. Only few individuals are getting their money genuinely. Even our roads. The last time I went to Apapa, I was on a bike. We had to pass under a trailer. I was just praying. I said, Lord, just save me. And I know that there's nothing God cannot do. But what about the risk we are putting ourselves through on a daily basis? Go to Apapa, Sinkan Island, where the majority of the income that we are generating in Lagos is coming from. Look at the roads. Every day, every now and then, trailer will be falling on cars, terminating people's lives. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Are we going to wait until we can no longer do anything? We have opportunity now. This is the time everyone should get up, that you are not meant to be a pauper. You are not meant to suffer. What you are going through is just few people that are making you to go through this. You have to get up and fight for your rights. Bob Marley said it, that we have to fight for our rights. If we don't fight for our rights, nobody will come and fight for it for us. We have to say no.
Well, I'm going to let you continue to... go ahead.
We thought things would be getting better from experiences, but I discovered that even some people are happy that life are being lost on a daily basis because they are benefiting from it. You know, all these ritualists, they believe in seeing blood every time. I don't know. They believe in, if not, what are we doing? What are we saying? Before I left Nigeria, I would be sleeping like this. By the time I wake up, I will be hearing a voice, anarchy. I don't know the meaning of anarchy. until I went to dictionary. I said, what is anarchy? So now I'm beginning to see it now, that if you don't move out of this region, anarchy will cut up with you. Now, they will be telling me as if they are telling me that I should move. I say, well, I never thought of moving out, honestly. But when I begin to hear that anarchy, I have to run. Because I know that the people they are not feeding today, or they are not doing necessary things to, they will come back
they'll revolt. They'll
the
fight
politicians back. Are just on holiday. They will revolt, yes. They will definitely revolt.
So it's just like everybody's just living in denial. It's going to happen.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. There's nothing we can do. It's going to happen. It is going to happen. The earlier, the better. So that we will be prepared. We won't be like Nigeria, that they don't prepare for any emergency. We have to prepare.
So
and they know that the only way they can capture us is by
up.
stopping us from going to farm. Yes. They know that if we can't farm, if we can't feed our people, we will be caught up with the hardship. But God is there. He will help us. But we have to do something on our own too. Because He has given us everything we needed. We should not ask God for anything. Now it's action.
I'm going to let you to sip some water while we're still here. Don't go, because I want to read some of what our listeners are responding, and they're responding very, very fast. You know, that I want us to capture some of what they are saying. So just continue to sip some water, and let's read a few comments across different platforms that we're streaming. My name is Olami Koike, and you're listening to a first-hand mother of a son that died at the Sosoliso plane crash 18 years ago. Mr. Yomi Benson say a total breakdown of law and order. He also went further to say that changes, the system that has been wounded. So Nigeria has been wounded. Ogumola Abiodun say, let us tear the weary country down as quickly as possible. He also went further to say Nigeria is a big backward country. Let's pick up to what Ijaya, my brother, says here. Alan Conde first said Nigeria is a Britain slave camp. Britain still holds us as their slave. If we want to be free from Britain, we have to stand for our right, saying we are Yoruba, not Nigeria. No more holding us as slaves. My brother Ijaya says we have no ministerial minister of petrol and oil. People have to speak up, because how come a president of Nigeria is also the minister of petrol only? Also, you went further. Our leaders are disabled in their heart and their heads with no vision and mission. They are puppets as well. You went further to say our leaders are fools, senseless people with no discipline and corrupt to the bone. And that is why people that died in 2005 was because of the corrupt system. When some of you say that we should look for good leadership, there's no good leadership. Let's pick up from some of the other comment that is coming very fast as well from some of the other platform. Mr. Dennis Dayo says, up Oduduwa Republic, Yoruba Nation. It has to be happening in our lifetime. Good evening to you, Olanikpekun as well, Silver Badmos. Let's pick on the two channel that we are streaming. Mrs. Grace Olushoto, grandmother says, no good social amenities, no good roads, no good health care. And I'm going to be coming to Port Harcourt again, because there was another sad incident that happened in Port Harcourt. I'm going to be sharing with every one of us in the next few minutes. No security, no light, no liberty, no good life for any of our citizens. And some of our mothers are becoming very, very sad. They are spending whatever they have from their pension, from their contribution being given to them by state in the country that they are living, to support their loved ones. Thank you so much, Ashake TV show, Cabo Sureto. The richer are getting richer, the poorer are getting poorer, the suffering and the dying, the hallowing in the abject poverty is becoming a daily occurrence. No good hope of future for our youth of tomorrow. We're talking about a mother that lost a genius. This boy was making 11 out of 15 different result that he was getting. Let's also talk about it. Mrs. Oluremi Kilanko Gabi says, it was a national tragedy that occurred 18 years ago today regarding Sosoliso plane crash in 2005. The former president and the vice president should have visited the parent. I'm not too sure why they never did. Dizzy man said we're listening to one of the mother that lost a son in the plane crash as well. Mr. Yemi Fatoki, let's pick up some of you as well that are here with us. Mr. Kendi Oseni say, me, I be Yoruba, no day here. Igbo language, Hausa language, no day here. Go your land. Ask God, or voice of one say, please note it is not Nigerians commenting, we are Yorubas and other nationals. My love to the mother, more strength and grace to you. They're praying for you. So people are saying, please, Yomi, I beg, no, they call us Nigerians. We are Yoruba people. Again, many people are praying for you. All the way from Australia, they're listening to us. Leslie is sending their loves and greetings. Let me come back again to you, our mother. Remember that you can continue to watch her. She will be doing a lot of program on what we call the 60 Angels TV on the YouTube. We're sharing the link. Please make sure you follow that link so that you can subscribe. I want to know how many of you have subscribed tonight. We need you to go and subscribe. It's very, very important because we want to continue to hear the truth. Let me come back again to you, my big mother. Today, Nigerians say we have good country, but we don't have good leaders. Your son died in Nigeria. Is it because we don't have good leaders or we don't have a country? I mean, you reflecting back now, 18 years, do you blame the leader or do you just say it's just that the system? What do you think? When some of us are now saying Nigeria is not working and we use the word Nigeria will not happen to you. Let me put this first before you respond to that, because the same Port Harcourt, there was another sad news that came out of Port Harcourt today that we already picked up, and I want you to listen to that because it was another terrible death, maybe that could have been avoided, but as we say all the time, may Nigeria not happen to you. This is a story that I picked up in Port Harcourt. Again, many people remember their loved ones that died during the Sosoliso plane crash, just like we remember yours as well. Again, this is the story. A popular photographer died a day to his birthday. A popular photographer based in Port Harcourt, we're talking about Port Harcourt, which is about 45 minutes from Abuja, if everything goes as planned, was said to have, I take that again. A popular photographer based in Port Harcourt in Rivers State, who is best known for his wide shot, has died in a lone car accident in Wimpy area of Obio Akpo local government area in Rivers State. According to the report, the photographer was said to have rammed into a building while trying to overtake a trailer at about 9 p.m. on Friday, which is about 48 hours ago, December 8th. The deceased, who was the only child, was reportedly at a popular gymnastics center in Port Harcourt when his mother in Rumola area called him to complain that some suspected cultists were shooting around a resident. Late Whitshot was said to have abandoned his activities at the gym, hopped into his vehicle, rushed to the area in a bid to save his mother. Eyewitness claimed late Whitshot, who was on a speed, tried to overtake a trailer, lost control of his car, tried to overtake a trailer, lost control of the car, rammed into a building, sustained a serious injury. Look, accident happened. The question is there emergency? This is where it gets interesting. I want us to take note of this. It was said to have been rushed to 2 different hospitals. And guess what? My mother here is talking about 18 years ago. We are talking about something that happened now on Friday, just 2 days ago. 2 hospitals rejected him. He was confirmed dead at the 3rd hospital he was taken to. May Nigeria not happen to you. And now this is still touching to you, especially listening to Port Harcourt again, because Port Harcourt is the same area that we are talking about today, where we've lost another young man because hospital rejected him. I was asking earlier, is it leadership or is there a problem in the country?
Definitely is the leadership, because the country has chosen them that they should be at the helms of affairs. So all what it takes, we are in this country now. We are not indigenous of this country we are in now. But when I'm sick now, I just go to the hospital without a dime in my pocket, and I will be attended to. That's how it's supposed to be all over the world. I don't know why Nigeria's own is different, and we have enough. We are not using it the right way, only for them to carry girls, to do ritual, to enjoy life, to buy. And the most painful aspect of it is that when they see money, when they gain money in Nigeria, they take it outside to go and keep there. Whereas where they got the money from, the people keep on dying in abject poverty. We so much have potential in Nigeria that the whole world supposed to be looking at us and be hailing us, as they call us giants of Africa. Are we still giants of Africa? What is the benefit of being a Nigerian? There's no benefit. The leaders are not just doing what they are supposed to do. And it has started because the citizens, we are not challenging them. It's not their fault. If I blame them, I will blame the citizens too. Look at, up till now, I expected by now, people should have come out. This hardship is enough. They should have stopped them here. But they will keep quiet. They will keep suffering. Instead of going out, they will go and commit suicide. I think our people need help. They should know their right. You know, if you don't know your right, there's nothing anybody can do about it. As long as we look at them and they keep maltreating us, making us to die on a daily basis, making us to suffer abject poverty, nobody will come out to help us. We should come out and tell the world that enough is enough. Enough is enough. Thank you.
We still have about few more minutes with you. I know it's been a long one. We appreciate your time given to us on this platform. It's a privilege, and we would hope that we will continue to support you behind the scene. Like I said, if you have not subscribed to that channel, it would be unfair that we've listened to this mother that lost a son, and the only thing we could have done is just to subscribe. So I'm pushing the link again one more time before she goes. I want to see a better outcome before we announce the numbers of people that have subscribed. But if you haven't done so right now, please click on that link, the YouTube channel link, and go and subscribe, because that is where she'll be talking more about. Bear with us, that is not the link I've just posted. We're posting that now, the backup team. Bear with us, that link is coming up now. Please let us go on there. It's called the 60 Angel TV. What do you plan to do with this YouTube channel? Let's talk about that. As I'm posting that link now, please, for benefit of those of you that are watching us right now, the only thing we can do for the 60 people that died, including the others, is to also want to know more by also going to subscribe. What is the plan, with the channel? I mean, you're launching it today out. You'll be putting some content in there. What are we expecting to be coming out of your 60 Angel, the 60 Angels TV, the 60 Angels TV? What are we expecting out of it?
Yes, it's going to be a platform whereby we'll be celebrating our loved ones, both dead or alive. And it's going to be another platform for people who want to hear their view about the pains they are going through, their true life story, so that the whole world can listen and advise them. From the comments, most of them will get solutions. And I want to open a foundation to be helping the less privileged too. I know that by the time Yoruba Nation comes up, we will not have need for this. But for now, most children are out of school. Instead of going to school now, they are now doing Yahoo and Yahoo Plus. I've never heard of it before. It was recently I was hearing Yahoo Plus. Yahoo. So all this has to stop. It's a way of destroying generations to come. And if we are not careful, we will not have any future the way it's going. If we still continue to be Nigerian, we should go our own way. Yoruba nation, no going back. I'm not hiding my mouth to say it because I know that is the only, because when I was growing up, at least when we were growing up, things were not so bad this way. It wasn't so terrible like this.
Okay. We
can go to school and leave our things outside. We don't even lock our door when we go to school.
Well, you
dare
not do that now because of the current situation. We will still take 6 minutes of your time, please, and then after you've gone, we will open the phone line for our listeners, and you can go back and be listening to that. So bear with us. I still want about 6 minutes from you, please. If you have not subscribed to that channel, the only thing we can do for Days Our Mother, some of you have subscribed. The number is still very low. I want to announce it, but I can't announce because it is still a very low figure. Thank you so much to our mother, a grandmother, Mrs. Comfort Ologunja. Went further to say there is a big problem in Nigeria. These same bad issues happen in Nigeria every time. We all remember the doctor that died in the lift in Lagos State. It's still going on, and most parents like this our mother that lost her son. Remember that this is her first son. This son would have been 32 years old come next year. She's even lost a genius because her son was a very, very big genius. My brother, your uncle, Yomi Benzu said, at this time, it is no longer bad leaders. We are not the same entities at all. What advice, as we're winding it down, like I said, we promise that we will continue to not wait till next year before we bring you on again. I know you're communicating with me behind the scene. We're talking all the time. We'll be writing a full article on these, and we hope, my team will be getting them out first thing tomorrow. They're listening to me. They're going to get this out. We will make sure that this is well documented. We will also continue to highlight the issue. Did any international countries around the world ever reach out to maybe any one of you, or maybe have you reached out to, because this is a case that sometimes they might be interested in as well. Did any of such happen?
Yes. In fact, they did album for each of the students. Okay. I've forgotten the name of that school in America here. They did album for each of the students, and they sent it across to us individually.
Wow.
So
interesting.
That was what
I think what we would do, and this is now our platform, I think what we should do so that we can be able to put this in record, and I'll work with this with you. I mean, this is just coming from my head. I think we should plant trees for each of the students. I don't know, maybe that's something you might think of. You don't have to give us a clear answer today, but I think we should. What we can then do is decide where we want to plant those trees, and we can also remember your son as one of those trees, or probably even trees for the 108 people, because so that we are not biased, to say it's just the 60. We can plant those trees and make sure that we monitor those trees growing. By this time next year, we will then talk about it. Akalamago TV, thank you so much for joining us. Let's just.
I forgot to say something.
Go ahead. You have all the time now.
I now remember that in Port Harcourt, the then governor built a school in their names.
Okay.
In Port Harcourt. It's similar standard to Loyola District College, because I don't know if they can meet up that standard. They said they did the school in their names, and they wrote all their names out on the flag there. I don't know. I've not been there.
Okay.
So that's what I suspect.
All right. I mean, I think, and if anybody also have any suggestion, we want to make sure that this time next year, we can showcase something, and we can probably document it. So I think, planting a tree and make sure that tree continue to flourish for all those that died, that is not going to be a big issue. But maybe when people start calling in, we will be able to take more. But I guess you will be listening, and we will take note, and we'll decide what we need to do. Please, if you have not subscribed to that channel, we want you to go now and help us to click on that link. At the moment, we've only got 6 people that have subscribed. Many of you are watching. You've listened to, this is not a movie, a real story of a mother that lost her son at the Sosoliso plane crash in 2005. The only thing we can give in return today is just to go and subscribe on that channel so that we can continue to monitor the progress of discussion that should be putting on that particular page. So once again, if you don't have the link to the channel, we are posting it right now. In 2 minutes before, I'm going to let you go. I've taken much of your time. I know I didn't say to you I was going to take as much of this, but it's not something that we can rush you in. We got to take it slowly with you, and that is exactly what I've done. In 60 seconds before you go, to the average Nigerian today, listening to this, what will you say to them?
I will tell them that hope is not lost. We should all come together as a human being, because the way things are going in Nigeria now, they are trying to turn everyone into a non-entity. We should get out of mirage. We should get out of mirage. We should face reality. We all have the potential to do it. We all have what it takes to do it. We should rise up and fight for our rights. Bob Marley says, get up, stand up, fight for your rights. This is the time. If we allow this time to be wasted, it will pain us forever. We will live to regret it, and the next generation will never forgive us.
Wow, I love that way to end that conversation. The next generation would not forgive us. Thank you so much. We've taken 1 hour, 10 minutes of your time, and that is a mother that the son died during the Sosoliso plane crash 18 years ago. Thank you so much for the time with us on KOIKIMEDIA.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Wow, this is where you will now come in. We have just about less than an hour. We will open the phone line briefly. The program is not up to 3 hours as usual. So the next hour is the Yoruba Nation. We've listened carefully. This is where you will now come in and share your own 1 or 2 experience with us. Whatever your experience is with this contraction that you call Nigeria, this country that has already gone into the ditch that will never rise up. It doesn't matter who is praying for Nigeria, it is dead, and our wish is it remains dead. If you're trying to put the oxygen, we will make sure that the way that you remove oxygen from all those that died during the Sosoliso, we will remove that oxygen from Nigeria. Ama your oxygen so you can call in now. The number is +44 74 04 405917. The number to the studio line right here is +44 74 04 405917. 44 74 04 40 59 70. Àsìkò tẹ́yìn náà lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa ká gbọ́n tí ẹ̀yin náà fẹ́ sọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí orí TikTok. Please, when you come in, you will just speak briefly. After a few minutes, I might take you out because we will not let anybody sit, especially in the TikTok, continuously. So I'm bringing 2 people in. The line is also going to be open, and then you can also come and share your experience. Let's first go straight to the first caller, our uncle from the state. You're live with us. Go ahead from the phone line. And if you're coming in, Mr. Diamond, please mute yourself, please, on the TikTok.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello, sir. So that woman was one of unfortunate parents.
Yeah. 18 years ago. I'm 32 next year, if he was alive. Yeah, she died in that same plane crash, yeah.
And the system we are talking about, look at the way the woman was trying to explain how the boy will have been saved, but because of oxygen.
With just a lack of medical, as you know, I mean, there was no emergency at the airport, which was a complete bogus. River State is a rich country, is an oil state, and yet the international airport was not ready to accept reality, and people died.
That is what we are saying. And when you consider keeping us together in Nigeria, keeping those different entities from different cultural backgrounds, from people of different languages, people of different ideas, tó jẹ́ pé táwọn kan bá ń ronú lọ síwájú, àwọn kan ń ronú lọ sẹ́yìn. Keeping those kind of people together can never make that country to work. I don't understand why some people cannot reason the way they should be reasoning. Because there was a time tí mo wà lórí platform kan tẹ́nìkan fìdí ẹ̀ múlẹ̀ wípé Nigerian police are only stronger in the south and southeast, southwest. Hello, Sasesi Wambe.
I'm going kete. Moke easy.
Nigerian police, ibi tí wọ́n ti strong, tí wọ́n ti carry out their duty as àti pé wọ́n corrupt is only south. But this man was establishing it that day that he was in the northern region. He lived in Kano out of his 60 years of age. He lived in Kano at least 45 years of his age. And the guy said, láti ayé Metasini, mi ò mọ̀ bóyá gbọ́ crisis Metasini in 1983. Láyé Sagari. Metasini. Kẹ́ lè mọ̀ pé àwọn Hausa yẹn ni wọ́n ti ń fún Nàìjíríà yẹn ní problem kò ń ṣe ní kì í sànà. Ó ní bí wọ́n ṣe ń wọlé lọ mú àwọn èèyàn nínú police station ní tí wọ́n ń dú àwọn èèyàn lọ́bẹ lọ́rùn. So one guy now asked question pé so things happen báyẹn láti make reference yìí Deborah Samuel tí wọ́n pa yẹn. Pé that girl was heading to a police station.
Okay.
Àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn dẹ̀ rí before the guy was actually linked to death. Tí wọ́n rí wọn ò rescue ẹ̀. Tí wọ́n fi link ẹ̀ to death tí wọ́n dẹ̀ fi pa. So wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ọlọ́pàá sàrí àwọn yẹn ní north pé they are more stronger than any fully battered Nigerian police. Pé ó ní kò sí tó ń jẹ́ Nigerian police ní north. Ó wá sọ so many, I've forgotten some of the instances to cite. Ó sọ so many things pé ó ní but each time tó bá wá sí Ìbàdàn tàbí tó ń wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ òun kàn rí pé ọlọ́pàá Nigerian police tọ̀dọ̀ wa ó yàtọ̀ sí ti north. Because tí any argument bá ṣẹlẹ̀ with any ordinary Hausa person ní north, any ordinary Hausa person ó lè gba etí DSP á dẹ̀ gbàgbé tí òsín kó má tó máa tẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ jáde. So that is what we are saying. A kì í ṣe ìkan náà, a kì í ṣe background kan náà, àgbédè kan náà, ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó ti wá báyé wọn jẹ́ religion. Ó tún ti wá yí orí àwọn people tá à ń sọ yìí. So we are not the same thing. Mo wá analyse fẹ́ nìkan pé irú àwọn nǹkan tó tiẹ̀ ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Yorùbá land yìí. Ká ní pé Yorùbá ti dá wà ní ta gbédè ara wa ta gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. Ìwà ìbàjẹ́ táwọn kan ń wù yìí wọ́n á ti ọwọ́ ẹ̀ bọlẹ̀. tàbá gbọ́ èdè yẹn tó jẹ́ pé èdè kan náà là ń sọ bíi tàwọn China yẹn àwọn Chinese they speak the same language. That was the reason why they are able to unite. That was the reason why they are able to come up with common goals and they are able to build their country and move forward. Mi ò sọ pé kò sí country tó jẹ́ pé wọn ò ní different languages o. Àwọn country kan wà tí wọ́n ní different languages o. But in the case of Nigeria, kò lè work.
Okay. Eshegoni Babawa, thank you so much. Eshegoni for that contribution. And it's been a while. That is all. Ọlọ́run bá ń dúró tì àkópalẹ̀mọ́dún Yorùbá nation kò ní jẹ́ ẹni tí ó máa ṣe lẹ́yìn wa gbogbo wa pátápátá tí a fẹ́ pé kó wá sí ìmúṣẹ ó máa wá sí ìmúṣẹ ní ojú ayé wa gbogbo àwọn bàbá tá à ń rò pé ó máa jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe àwọn bàbá yẹn wọn ò ní jẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe torí pé ìtọ́fẹ́ ni restructure dẹ̀ ti late nísìn ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa thank you so much. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún máa bá ètò yẹn nìṣó fún àǹfààní ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá fẹ́ pè wọlé bọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ ẹni tó wà nínú orí TikTok wa mú kí ẹ easy ó ṣe gan ni òkú gbogbo gbà òkú àdúró ti family òdẹ̀kú àdúró ti Koiki Media Dizzy-Man 123 kí lédè tó ń sọ ní limited visibility kí ló mean by that ẹ já lọ sórí TikTok thank you so much Mr. Korede wọ́n ní Mr. Koiki well done for the good job naija matter na cancer Mr. Diamond ẹgbọ́n sókè ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò sá wọ́n gbọ́ yín sá.
You've tried enough like ẹ ti ṣiṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ gan but nǹkan tí mi kàn fẹ́ sọ ń bẹ̀ ni pé especially TikTok yìí àwọn èèyàn náà nǹkan ń gbénu wọn but they don't have the chance to speak out.
fear láti rántí fear.
rárá nǹkan tó máa ń káwọn èèyàn pay attention wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ rí lára someone like them like you should not be the one talking everything always.
Okay.
Like nǹkan tí mi kọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ mẹ́rin pé ó yẹ kẹ́ bá ti open platform báyìí.
Yeah.
Nǹkan tí wọn mọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà tó jẹ́ secret.
Yes.
You should not put it as a question.
Okay.
People will now be the one trigger the question like alima wà painful àwọn èèyàn alima trigger lórí ẹ̀ that you should be the one talking about it with evidence like ohun tẹ́ mọ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lélẹ̀ this is the proof. Okay. Kí ló yẹ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń pa.
Kí ló lè ṣe sí.
Because many people wọn like bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé Nàìjíríà báyìí ẹlòmíì tó bá kọ̀ọ̀kan já we just be like kí láwọn lè sọ I don't think they know what they are talking about.
Okay.
Like kí ni ìdá ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ for real lóòótọ́ but many people they don't pay attention on it like they are just doing their thing like tí máa ṣe àti rí jẹ tí mo ti rí mu.
Okay. All right.
Ìwọ̀nba ló kàn mí mọ́. And people should be the one talking a lot about it. Ẹ bá kàn tí open platform.
SOJ, thank you so much.
Ẹ jẹ́ kí audience máa pọ̀. Táwọn èèyàn bá ti ń ráyè àti máa sọ̀rọ̀. Views máa pọ̀.
All right.
Kí views ilé máa pọ̀ yẹn gangan lẹ́ need.
Yeah, I think you're quite right. We will take the feedback. Mo gbọ́ yín.
The platform mi tó yẹ pé they are talking about Peter Obi tó yẹ pé views will be 2,000.
All right, let me tell you something there. TMO. This platform, right, is a spotlight platform for the international community that will not allow these brands, thankfully TikTok, Facebook, to allow our message to be visible to people. They've torn it down. The Peter Obi and so I see all the other platforms, with like what you're saying. This platform is an activist platform. Consuming economy more affected. I'm talking about most people within the same caliber like me. Only bọ̀bọ̀ kan nísìn tó ń pè ní orúkọ ẹ̀sẹ̀ apámi lórí nísìn kódà wọ́n ti restricted fully lórí YouTube Rumble ló ń lò nísìn. These are guys that have like over 1 million followers. What they do is, especially our time agitate by ẹ̀yin rí from the point of kíní yóò travel bó jíjẹ́ kó travel but àwọn tí à ń bá jà lẹ́yìn tó jẹ́ àwọn òyìnbó countries tan because I am living in UK now, so they are speaking to all these platforms behind the scene. I know that We have evidence of it. But I don't want to talk about it because ìlú ìfún mi ní access láti béèrè tán pè ní freedom of information. I can request for anything nílùú yìí. Only 21 days láti respond to me. But I'm not going to go into what I have in my file. Kò ń ṣe mí nìkan. The same thing with the Simon Ekpa. Àwọn yẹn tẹ̀tí Simon Ekpa ò lo YouTube mọ́. They've had their own platform. So I understand that people think that our traffic is not going. I have 500,000 followers on Facebook, but they've restricted. It's a target. If people are hearing it every day with the numbers, tell me that country will get the message in no time. Why do you think that when Nnamdi Kanu comes up on YouTube and Facebook, Oma crash? These are deliberate. This is what they want to do. They don't want a message like this to travel. And I mean, normally the moment I come up online, 500,000 of my followers should be notified. With KOIKIMEDIA is live on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok. But they're not doing that because Tiba changed my pattern of discussion. Especially Tiban saw something to relate more sexual explicit. I'm on TikTok all the time. I see, I don't walk out on wire only 1,000K view. At the end of the day, this is what this platform, sexual explicit, sells more than the kind of job that I am doing. The job that we're doing is a very, very dedicated, sensitive job. Oh, a very, very sensitive job. It's a very, very sensitive job. And we are dealing with yeah, Mumbo.
There was a guy talking in Pella, who's view Kineton, only 3.1 views on this guy, and what the guy is doing nothing that will contribute to the community. Like he's just cashing cruise.
Tiba change my style of topic. Look, what they've done is there are some individuals within Nigeria. Bishewa live by Nisi. Sultan of Sokoto Media is live with me. Bugunti Monsolon record. Konjekwe asoneleleyo. Intelligent odowo wa with evidence in the monso. Because Oma Kwemi like Benuso Igbowo. Bugunti Bade and so won't take note of it. We are fighting a very big fight. It might look like it's a joke, it's a play, but they are dealing with us. That is why somebody like Lai Mohammed, people like that will still suffer because it plays along with them. I won't go into as much details, but like I said, the job of KOIKIMEDIA is not. Why do you think Julian Assange is being kept where he is at the moment? I'm sure you know Julian Assange. Anthony we keep platform. So what if he extradited this thing? So it's a very sensitive job, but again, we're reporting them, within my journalist union. They are aware of all these things that you've talked about. I talk about it all the time when I go to my meetings. When you're an activist, we should expect this kind. So my message, WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, WikiLeaks. There's another guy, Toti Salosi, Russia and Latin America. There's another brilliant guy like that. It's a very sensitive job, but again, we pray that very soon things will change. But for now, we will just manage. And I've taken your feedback. We are managing what we have. That's why I'm not worried whether people the views goes up or not. But Snowden, Snowden is another very powerful guy. American waba anything, but Russia funny citizenship. But I'm listening. And you guys have to know that I live in UK. So UK go the Lambaja. Maybe some of you don't know that. So it's a very my IP address the moment I go live. So it's a very I'm dealing with a very sensitive job, But Kasha had to go for a long way, nothing there. So I go ahead.
As in everything to share like painful that I don't know me, but I'm like we have pay attention you have to see what is going on.
It is all distraction. It's a distraction. Sherry, what they're doing is that the world is changing, and it's changing very fast. And Nigeria is a big player for the West. One needed for so many reasons. For stability reason, for their own reason, for medical reason, for whatever reason. That part of the world gone. Don't put Nigeria into Yoruba and whatever it is. It's a big game changer. And whether they like it or not, is either we all come on the round table and discuss this issue, or eventually things will go wherever it needs to go. But we will continue talking while we are also monitoring traffic.
This 2024 it will not be easy, because imagine how the country is. There is no changes, there is no good plan. It's not as if you guys want to use the money for the country. You just want to collect the money and share it among you guys. And people are just sitting like they sit as.
Yeah, I think Nigerians will not respond and react to anything, because it's a spiritual thing as well. The country is under spiritual lockdown. Kunle Bakers, thank you so much. Ẹ jẹ́ ká gba call ẹ bá mute ká mú padà bọ̀ lọ́dọ̀ yín in a minute. Ẹ má ti lọ. Hello, ẹ bá mute background. Ẹ ti wọlé, please.
Hello.
Ẹ ti wà on. Ẹ mute background yẹn. Ẹ ti wọlé. Kunle Bakers, shout out to you, bro.
Okay. Mo ti mute ẹ. Koiki, báwo ni?
Àlàáfíà.
Pẹ̀lẹ́ kú iṣẹ́.
À ń gbìyànjú.
Ọ̀rọ̀ mi ò pọ̀ ná. Mo gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí woman yẹn tó sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, tó sọ pé ọmọ òun tó wà lára àwọn tó ní plane crash, tó involve ní plane crash ní Sosoliso 2005. Ó sọ pé by ìpínlẹ̀ ọmọ yẹn máa pé ọmọ 32 years old. Àmọ́ dẹ̀ gbọ́ bí woman yẹn bó ṣe. Hello?
À ń gbọ́ yín, ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ.
Mo gbọ́ bó ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ tí ó dẹ̀ ń béèrè àwọn question kankan lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Like, I sympathize with her anyway. Kí Ọlọ́run kó tùnú. Woman ó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ìpèrú problem wo ni ló jẹ́ the main problem ní Nàìjíríà. Ìpè ṣe leadership problem ni tàbí kí ni. Ìgbà tóun fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀, ó sọ̀rọ̀ pé leadership ni. That is her own belief. But me, I don't know, but I understand it's not a leadership problem, Lani. It's not a matter of leadership problem at all. It's about the foundation. To ti wọ́ wá láti ilẹ̀. To jẹ́ pé it's about lower 40. It's about amalgamation. To jẹ́ pé wọ́n dà wá papọ̀, àwọn British dà wá papọ̀ because of their own mutual benefit. Wọn ní any plan fún wa rárá. I don't know bóyá woman bóyá mi ò bó understand it gbogbo level. It's not about leadership.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, I just think that she just mentioned that as part, because she's a full Yoruba Nation campaigner as well, and we met in this movement, and she's been with us in the last 3 years, but I didn't realize that she has a son that died in Sosoliso until we talked about it some few weeks back and months back. But again, she knows that it's far beyond leadership, but again, we can just take it as, what she said tonight. Yeah. Mama boy.
Because gẹ́bọ̀rọ̀ tó máa ń sọ tó jẹ́ pé òfin educate àwọn èèyàn wa tó fi ń liberate wọn, tó jẹ́ pé especially àwọn èèyàn wa kan tó wà ní western world bí tó máa sọ fún àwọn tó wà Nàìjíríà pé leadership problem ni pé leadership tó dẹ̀ máa ń sọ fún wọn pé it's not about leadership problem ni pé gbogbo nǹkan tó ń sọ yẹn pé kì í ṣe leadership ni. Ṣèbí kí lorúkọ ẹ̀ Ṣọlá Adéyẹyè former senator ṣèbó sọ a couple of years ago